Greetings, thank you for joining me today. Now today you find me in the building site that is our bathroom. It's a work in progress and we've got, at the moment it works. There's a toilet, there's a sink, there's a shower, a walk-in shower which is essentially large enough to be a mini wet room. Now there's a reason we're here. Those who have seen my videos in the past will maybe have seen the one I did on the Samsung washing machine that we had for the longest time. That lasted us 4 years before we were forced to stop using it. And you might also have seen the one I did on the Indesit spindle dryer we had. And that lasted, again, around about 4 years before we had to get rid of it. That one rusted itself to death. For us, we were forced to stop using the washing machine that we had for a number of reasons. The main one being that massive leaks in the bathroom upstairs, which used to be upstairs, caused all the electrics in the kitchen, which is what this area used to be, wrongly assigned this. It caused all the electric power sockets to fail, and so there was basically no way we could get electricity to the washing machine, not without trailing cables, which is dangerous. So so we got rid of it, and good riddance, and the clothes smell better for it. Now just to touch on that, now we're all forced to use what we have to use. Washing machines, you go with what you trust, you go with the brand you trust, and you hope it gives you the best service, the best efficiency that it possibly can. Now in the case of front loaders, I have problems with front loaders because they do, by their very nature, they store water. And so when the wash is finished, it will... Things going on upstairs. They will, by their very nature, store water, and that stored water starts to get stagnant and smells. And a lot of front loading washing machines will smell if you stick your head in that drum. There. And there's nothing you can do to really clean them up. Now I know a lot of manufacturers will say, oh, this product will clean your washing machine, have it smelling bright and new, but really you're just bleaching the problem. Nothing really clears away that scale, that grime that sticks in that drum. Not the thing short of dismantling the whole thing and cleaning it out by hand, and who wants to do that? That's when you ignore the failings that these things sometimes have. The seal around the door can sometimes fail, or the belts fail, the motors fail. Many faults you can get on a washing machine. Now the top loaders, by contrast, you have a lid, you lift it up, you put the washing in, and it's relatively contained. Now they can also leak, and they can also get a bit smelly, but for some reason they drain better, and as a result they are much better. So we decided to do an upgrade, or the missus decided to buy another twin tub. We've had top loaders and twin tubs in the past, and they're very good. On one side you have a washing machine, top loading, and on the other side a spin dryer. So 2 devices in one. Excellent. I'm going to turn the camera around so you can see what we've got. Now we're in the bathroom area because we need a wet room area to place this device. Some devices have the ability to pump water out of the chambers and pump it into a sink, which is when you can set it up next to a sink, and that's really nice. But this one doesn't have that feature. This is just a gravity drained device. So for this reason, we're in an area where it can drain naturally into a drain lower than the device. Going forward, of course, we will put it in its own wash house. I've just got to build that when I'm finished with this project. Yeah, it'll happen. So here it is. It is a mains 240 volts powered device, so that's kind of nice. It is not branded, so this is not an endorsement of any particular brand. It's just if you find one of these on Amazon or eBay or anywhere else, frankly, that looks a bit like this is the sort of thing you're in for. It is efficient, time efficient, and kind of water efficient as well. Here's the manual it comes with. As you can see, no branding really to speak of. It's well written in English and has very clear instructions not to install this in a bathroom. Obviously you wouldn't leave it in the bathroom long term. You only bring it into an area where it can drain as required, and like I say, going forward this gets its own wash house, which is another room in the house. Now we just don't have power or plumbing in there at the moment. Anyway, you've got mechanical timer here to time the spin dryer, which is this side, and it's got safeguard lids. It's very good. Tiny spin dryer, but it does the trick. And then on this side you've got the washing machine, top loading washing machine of course, which is small, but again it does the trick. And in the bottom of the drum there is, you can see the spinny thing that spins, that swishes the water around. And a filter for some reason is in there. I'm not sure what the filter is filtering, because it doesn't pump water out, it drains, and it drains through the bottom rather than that side. Otherwise, of course, it wouldn't fully drain. However, the filter needs cleaning after every use cycle. Ooh. Right, so there's that. Yeah, so on the, got 3 settings. There's drain, which is what it's on at the moment, normal, and soft. It's for the sort of laundry you can do, for, you know, soft being for delicates, and it treats them slightly more gently, shall we say. And you've got the timer on this side, again a mechanical timer to time this wash cycle, which is anything up to 15 minutes. Anything up to 5 minutes for the spin cycle, but of course you can run it as often as you need. Usually it's got the job done within 2 minutes on the sort of work I've done with it. 15 minutes is more than enough time to get the water nice and grubby and wash all the filth out. But again, if you want to, you can drain it and refill it and put some more soap in it if you want to do a more thorough washing, depending on how soiled the items are. On the side, you can't really see, but if you look down, there's a tube leading into our drain here for the shower. It is a gravity-fed drain. Like I say, it would be nice to have the device with a pump, but of course that's an extra complication and something to go wrong. And I'm guessing the device probably is produced with a pump, hence that filter thing. I don't know. I'm just guessing. It has 2 water inlets. It comes with 1 hose. You can put water through the spin dryer just to rinse things off a little more as you spin. That's kind of useful. I haven't used that feature yet. And likewise, you can use the hose to fill the washing machine if you don't happen to have it set up like we do in the wet room, in the shower room. We just fill it with the hose off the shower. But you can put water through there, and again that comes through into the device. It's a simple hose that comes with it, with a compression fitting. So I might fit that when I plumb it in properly. The instructions are very clear. It was a reasonable price. This is not a paid endorsement, as I say. It's just what I found. It is very efficient. Very efficient. You can usually get a full week's washing done in about 3 hours, back and forth, and it leaves you free to do other things whilst you are doing washing. It's not like washing in the sink, and again, it's not burning power for hours on end just for a few shirts. Really, really good. So here's the drill basically. It's quite quiet for those who have to work from home. It's quite quiet, so it doesn't kick up too much noise. That way, if you are in a call, it's not going to interfere with anything. I use a scoop of washing powder in the drum. Make sure it's set to normal so it's not going to drain out instantly you fill it. I've done that a few times. And then we get the water from the shower hose, of course making sure that it's on the shower hose setting and not the shower from above setting, because that would be bad. And we just fill it. Yeah, it's not ideal. This is how we fill it. Then again, it's not that pretty when you've got the shower hoses, the water supply hoses fitted to these nozzles, and I would question how long these things would last under normal use, because it's plastic, and of course plastic does become brittle over time, but it probably lasts a couple of years. We'll have to see how it goes. I'll let you know. Anyway, it takes a while to fill because we've got low water pressure in the area. Yeah, and it's only going to get lower. And of course, put the washing in there. It is quite sensitive to the weight of washing that you put in a load. There is a limit. It always measures limits in grams or kilograms, doesn't it, with washing machines? But whoever thinks about that, they just want to shove as much washing in the washing machine as they can and they go. But I find when it comes to doing heavy loads, things like heavy towels, you still have to use a bit of thought. and it won't run properly if you fill it right up to the top there. It just won't. You've got to be sensible. So you match your loads. You think about how you do things so you get it done as quick as possible without ruining the motor. Finally, with a full load of water in there with the washing powder and the washing, you can set it to the timer, 15 minutes, and off she goes. Straightforward. And if you want to, you can open the lid as you roll. I think there should be a switch that cuts it off when you do this, but for whatever reason it doesn't. There's a switch on this side which shuts the spinner off if you open the lid, which is what made me think this one might do the same. However, I don't mind being able to do this. I can reach in there, give the motor a bit of extra assistance if necessary. I don't recommend doing this, by the way. It's not exactly safe. I can't guarantee this thing's properly earthed either, if I'm being honest. These are the risks you take when you order off of certain sites. But yeah, as long as you've got a good RCD and a whole bunch of safeguards in your electrical system in your home, and you know you're all up to date with that, then things should protect you. We hope. It's very low wattage. Doesn't really use much power to turn that motor, and allegedly it gets a B rating with 48 kilowatt hours rated per yes, and it says it's good for a 5 kilogram load, which is about right, I think, based on what I've used it with. Anything more than that and you're overloading it. It won't take a full duvet. Mind you, most washing machines won't take a full duvet either, which is annoying and unfortunate. But that niggle aside, it's a really nice little machine. Okay, so it's finished its run, so now it's time to drain, which basically means making sure that hose is properly put wherever you put it so it doesn't run its water all over the floor, and let it drain. All the while monitoring that the drain isn't getting clogged, because life happens. I'm not going to show you that because it's pretty grim and the water that comes out of this is notably dark. Right. But it's draining, which is great. A couple of gallons. And you can of course run the hose over this to rinse the washed materials just a bit before you spin them. Now it is a very small spinner, but it's well designed, and I'm going to bring it over a little bit so you can see how. So number one, if you lift the lid, all of a sudden it cuts it off. There's a cut-off switch in there. There's a little protection lid with a reminder sticker that I can't properly read because my glasses aren't on. And anyway, underneath this, you've got the tiny spinner. Now, if something should come out the top, and get over this lip and go down into the mechanism. Now, if that happened on the Indesit, it was really irritating because socks would occasionally get out and they would get into the mechanism, and then of course it slows down the spinning cycle, makes a nasty noise, causes a whole heap of trouble because you have to dismantle it in order to get things out. Otherwise they fester and become revolting. With this, you can tilt it to one side and get your hand down there with the power turned off and disconnected, obviously, but you can certainly get your hand in there and remove any stray laundry. It's fantastic. Cracking design. Just a little bit of flexibility is all it requires. Wouldn't want to try that if my arm was a bit, well, more built. However, now bras can be interesting when you try and spin them. In a larger spinning device,
you just layer them on the bottom of the spinner, and because the wires themselves cause the spinner to spin in an irregular manner, what you want to do is equally weight it in the drum. Now this small drum is easy to load up, but when it comes to bras you still can't put one on the one side and hope for the best, because it will wiggle from side to side and cause vibrations and damage. So in order to spin properly, the best thing to do is to stack clothing around the bras, like or weighted objects, just stack them around. That way you keep things spinning at the core, and generally you keep the vibrations down to a minimum. Now this is spinning the undies. You have this thing, I know what you call it. There was one with the Indosip, but I never used it. You have this thing which you put down on top, and this is supposed to stop stray small items like socks going down, getting spun out and flung under the mechanism. I recommend using it all the time. Save you a lot of bother. And off we go. Again, making sure the drain hose is fitted where it needs to be. And that's basically it. Okay, so in conclusion, really nice device to have. These top loaders are great. I mean, all small devices save you a little bit of money because they use less electricity. In this case, it saves you water, electricity, gas. Highly recommended. And because really we're up against it these days, and every penny counts. So, thanks for watching anyway. Whatever you do, have a great day. Bye for now.